Hey guys, it's Brandon. Today I have a two trade recaps for you guys, both taken on the same day today, which is July 15th. As you guys can see before I get into it, here are my executions. And then I have my TradeOvate account here. $4,675 across five accounts is a little bit over $23,000. Have my executions here. First trade was about $2,000. Second trade was about $2,600. This first trade was with two minis, and this second trade was with one mini. I also got 1.3 thousand across five Tradeify select evals that I'm looking to pass, looking to get with Tradeify the select accounts. Their accounts look pretty nice, but really happy on these take profit trader accounts, able to do same day withdrawal. So tonight at around like 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll be able to withdraw, but I'm not going to withdraw all of my profits just because I'm going to keep a small buffer on these accounts. All right. So getting into this day, I'm just going to go on replay mode. All right, I marked out all the drawn liquidity for the day starting from 9:30. So looking at the daily time frame first, we're still in a bit of a daily consolidation here. There's nothing, no daily fair value gaps to target. So we only thing we got is previous day high here, but both pretty close to each other, and then previous day low all the way down here. Moving on to the 4 hour, not really many 4 hour gaps to target except this small one all the way down here. It's pretty small, but it is still a 4 hour gap that we can target. We are already in a 4 hour fair value gap right here. Previously been respected still, so I'm wondering if we respect it to bounce off to hit previous day high, or at 10 o'clock we inverse it to seek lower movements. If we want to continue to stay in this chop box here, we will come back down. As you guys can see, we've been up, down, and now we would want to come back down if we don't take out these previous day highs. Um, no, nothing else really to target on the 1 hour. We have some 1 hour gaps here. There's a 1 hour gap here that's previously been respected. This 1 hour gap here that's unmitigated, and then this unmitigated 1 hour right here, but kind of looks the same like the 4 hour and the daily right now, just up and down, up and down. On the 15 minute is where we get the most of our drawn liquidity. So as you guys can see, for Asia and London, Asia is from 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. and London is from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. So we got Asia high here, which is the highest point from 2 to 7. I mean, from 7 to 2. So Asia high is created at 1 a.m. And Asia high was taken in London to create the London high, which does happen a lot. London takes Asia to create the London high or low. And then Asia low is down here. We didn't take it yet. And London low was taken pre-market at around 8:15. Buy side nearest 15-minute high is up here, and sell side nearest 15-minute low is down here. And there is a 15-minute fair value gap here. So at 9:45, it'd be interesting to see if we hit this and then bounce up, or if we just come back down, or if we come back down and inverse it at 9:45. So at 9:45, that'll be my condition for bullish or bearish on the day. We also have a lot of more sell side drawn liquidity here just because we've came down and then came back up. So with this up movement, when we came back up, a lot of draws in liquidity that we have not targeted yet. So just looking at all our drawn liquidity, there's a lot on this day. There's a lot of drawn liquidity, especially down here, that's been sitting in the market since yesterday. So definitely interesting to see at 9:45 if we inverse this, would be looking to target these lower draws on liquidity. So just under 30 seconds playing price out for what happens. So let's see. So first 5 minutes is pretty bad. There's no fair value gaps created except the small one here. So I wanted to see it either take buy side or sell side to see the price movement on the day. As you guys can see, we took sell side first, so looking for sells, seeing how price reacts to the sell side. If we want to bounce from the sell side to the buy side or continue through sell side to all these unmitigated gaps, Asia low, and all these draws and liquidity below. So just gonna keep skipping ahead here. It's 9:45 now, so open range high and low is formed. So also on the 15-minute. It is 9:45, the opening of the new 15-minute candle. So this 15-minute gap did get inversed. So sells are definitely looking better today. We also did tap into this 1 hour gap. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a retrace, deliver out of this, and then come back down also. So just gonna mark out open range high and low. This is also 9:30 high because we didn't sweep 9:30 high. 930 low was taken by this candle here. So this is opening range high and 930 high. And the opening range low was created at 945. So it's actually taken out instantly right at this candle because this candle opens at 945 exactly. This candle closes at 944 59. So this in 1 second it was just taken instantly. So no trade today for the opening range side. So let's see. We deliver lower, tap into this 15-minute gap, but I would like to see a retrace before we get anything else. Just continuing this move down. We tap Asia low too. So the next draws in liquidity are pretty far away, like New York low and then London low and 15-minute low here. So let's see. Once it hits 10 a.m. also, we're also able to target 6 a.m. low. So we are retracing a little bit, but it's not like clear movement right now. So it is 10 o'clock. So we can go to the 4-hour candle and mark out the 6 a.m. candle here, high and the low. So the high of this 6 a.m. is here. So this is 6 a.m. high. And then the low of the 6 a.m. candle is over here, 6 a.m. low. All right. So 6 a.m. high is the buy side for today. So we're just gonna mark that out. Price is definitely closer to 6 a.m. low right now, so I would be surprised if it goes all the way up here to 6 a.m. high. Usually if it takes open range low like it does here and then this continues to displace down, we usually take 6 a.m. low as well. So 6 a.m. low is the low that was created here. All right, so I'm just gonna see where price wants to go from here. If it wants to go to 6 a.m. low, because in order to get to 6 a.m. high or open range high, we still have a lot of unfilled fair value gaps from this move down, like this 5 minute here and this 5 minute here. There's also 3 minute, 2 minute, 1 minute gaps, and a 15-minute gap here that we just tapped into. With the 15-minute is a 5 minute gap. So this is both a 5 minute and a 15-minute gap. So you guys can see the 5 minute gap here, and then on the 15 minute, the gap bridge there. All right, so we tapped into a 5 minute and a 15 minute. So we're gonna see if we try to inverse these gaps to seek further gaps up here, like 2 or 3 minute, or this 5 minute up here, or we're gonna deliver from this 5 minute gap to 6 a.m. low. So let's just see what price wants to do. So it looks like we delivered into this upper 5 minute gap here, tapped into this one. So we do inverse these 30-second gaps. However, just gonna look in the higher time frame. This 1 hour gap got inverse too. So we're just gonna see what price wants to do, if it wants to respect this inverse or come back down. So it definitely looks like we're going to 6 a.m. low right now. On the 1 minute, we inverse these two 1 minute gaps. On the 30-second, inverse these 30-second gaps, delivering off two 5 minute gaps and a 15-minute gap. Delivered off this 30 seconds. So this is the trade that I took on my Tradeify for that 1.3K that I said. I just took this trade to London low with 2 or 3 minis, and then I closed it as I hit my consistency rule. So my stop loss was about 40 points here, just delivering off this 30-second fair value gap here. And then this was a pretty straight flush to 6 a.m. low. There we go. After price needed to respect it again, but it never body closed past the 50%. So this was the trade I took to on my evals, but I didn't take this on my funded. The trade I took on my funded was right here. So after we took 6 a.m. low, we definitely chopped around a little bit. Wanted to see what price wants to do after taking the 6 a.m. low, if we want to reverse off 6 a.m. low, and then tap into another higher time frame gap, like a 1, 2, 3 minute gap, or deliver lower. But looking at how we're so bearish on the day already, these draw liquidity look really nice, both all stacked around liquidity gaps and unfilled gaps right here that have been resting in the market. So this trade right here on the 30-second time frame is delivering off this 30-second fair value gap, and it never got a body closure into the gap, which is perfect. Only wicked into it on the 1 minute. Also a 1 minute delivery as well. So I took this trade. I didn't take this trade all the way to New York low. I looked on a higher time frame and I did see that there was a 1 minute, I mean a 1 hour gap here. This 1 hour gap was already mitigated. However, I would like to target it just because looking back on the day, New York low and London low was so far away. So I was not ready to hold this like 150 points. I just wanted to hold this for like 40 points, for 50 points. I ended up taking like 50 points on this trade because price just moved so fast out of this fair value gap. So after price respected this fair value gap, we moved with volume. So once I see this big displacement candle down, makes me know that we're gonna target New York low and the London low down here without a pullback. So if price wanted to pull back, it would have body closed into the gap and then possibly inverse the gap as well. So take this trade to the 1 hour. It's pretty clean, pretty fast. Within like 1 minute, we hit the mitigated 1 hour. And then after we hit the 1 hour, we just started kind of chopping around for a little bit, not really doing too much. As you guys can see, after hitting that 1 hour gap, we did bounce off of it, which is why I wanted to target the 1 hour gap and not hold my TP all the way down here. So it only got like 50 something points, but I'll take it because I didn't have to experience the high cortisol of this drawdown. See, I would have been break even at this point anyway, so it would have been a break even trade if I did try to hold to New York low. So looking right now, price did inverse these two gaps. So I'm looking for up movement or something we can bounce off of on the upside to come back down. There's not really anything else, however. So I'm just gonna see how price plays out. It is 10:30. So on this next 1 minute, we do have a 15-minute fair value gap that was created in session here. If I can mark this out. I'm blind. There we go. So we do have a 15 minutes. So I want to see us touch this 15-minute gap and then come back down towards this New York low, which is my overall target on the day. So we start coming back down. By this point, I'm thinking maybe we don't need this 15-minute gap because we did inverse these two 30 seconds and we did inverse this 1 minute here. But I just wanted to see what price does. As you guys can see, we did not sweep these lows, weren't able to sweep these lows that created body closure. If we create a body closure under these lows, like right here, if this candle closed right here, I think New York low would have been taken out pretty fast without needing the 15-minute. But we stalled, we inversed back up. See what happens. All right, so we inversed back up and then we looks like we inversed back down on the 30-second. So the 30-second, there were two unfilled fair value gaps to the left here. This one and then this one, but we did inverse these two first ones to get to the second one, which we respected. But if you go on the 1 minute, this 1 minute got inversed, but this bigger 1 minute never got a body closure above 50%. So we're still delivering off this 1 minute here. By this point, I don't think we need the 15-minute because if we wanted the 15-minute, we would have just taken it off of these 30-second inverse here. So looking down, we have a 30-second inversion right here, this tiny one. On the 1 minute, we have a tiny inversion here too, and still respecting this 1 minute. So I just took my entry here. We bounced off of this 1 minute gap to inverse back down. But however, there was an IFEG here, but this IFEG failed because this IFEG got disrespected because we re-inversed the IFEG, so it came back down. So basically, this IFEG was just manipulation. It wasn't a true inverse. If it was a true inverse, it would have created another candle up, probably body closuring above the 50% mark of this 1 minute. So this was on the 1 minute entry. The stop loss point, the safest stop loss point was 60 points, but that was a bit too far away. So the max I risk on a day is 40 points. So I just put it at 40 points. To basically take this trade off of the failure of the inversion. So taking the trade off the re-inverse of the IFEG. So, and then my overall target, I wanted to target this London low and New York low. I didn't target this 15-minute or this 1 hour or these because these are just unfilled for value gaps and New York low and London low plus 4 hour unfilled are way stronger than all these gaps combined. Plus, this London and a 4 hour is stacked for value gaps. I mean, stacked draw on liquidity, all on the same point. If I did want to hold to these draws on liquidity, I knew I would have expected a small retrace. So price would have came back down, retraced a bit, and then if I wanted to come back down, it would have came back down. But I just didn't want to be caught in this retrace because when price retraces after hitting significant draw on liquidity, you don't know how high it's gonna retrace. Like it could retrace all the way up here, stop me out, and then come back down. So I just wanted to be in and out of the trade as soon as possible. So I was in this trade. I'll just skip through on the 1 minute. As you can see, we experienced literally no drawdown at all on this trade based off the failure of the inversion here on the 30-second. Once price took this low, I went break even. So I was break even on the trade. And then with this next candle here, I moved my stop loss in profit above this 30-second gap. If price hit this 30-second gap or traded above it to inverse it, it probably would take a while to hit New York low or London low. So I was happy moving my stop. Like it was like, yeah, 20 points in profit. So we're just gonna see how this trade plays out. As you guys can see, happened pretty fast. This trade, we took New York low and then we took London low. Um, I might take profit like 1 or 2 points above it in case it near missed it. But it was pretty fast trade. So this trade was about 130 points plus this trade off this 6 a.m. low to this 1 hour low was around 50 something points. So pretty much received like almost 200 points on the day, like 180 points. So it's pretty good. Um, pretty good two trades. As you guys can see, we actually near missed this 15 minute by like a couple points, if you guys are curious, by 3 points. So it's a good thing I had my take profit at this London low and the 4 hour gap because my take profit actually bottom ticked the entire market. So as I was saying, I would definitely have expected a retrace after this, and we did end up taking this 15 minute. However, it took a really long time to take. So if I just skip ahead, as you guys can see, we do take this 15 minute here, and we do take this 15 minute and 1 hour all the way down here. The only thing is I would have expected around like 120 points of drawdown from this line of low just to get there. And that's just something I don't want to have to face just for a couple more points to get from London low to this 15 minute was like 70 points. However, how long did this take? It took like almost 2 hours of just high cortisol trade, just up and down chop. So I'd rather be in the trade. Don't hold for the max draw on liquidity. Just be in and out of the trade. This trade was pretty fast. This trade was 10:35 to around like 10:42, like 7 minutes. So overall, the entire day today, I entered at 10:23 and came off 10:42. It's about like a little over 20 something minutes for $20,000. So 4.6K across 5 accounts, like $23,000. So these are my trades on today. We did continue lower as I expected, but just because we hit this two good draw on liquidity. We did experience a retrace like I thought we would. We retapped into this 30-second where I had my stop loss. I put my stop loss in profit, so it would have stopped me out for like 20 points instead of getting 130 points. So, yeah, nice little bottom tick on the market here. So yeah, those are my two trades on the day. These two trades for 180 points. Let me know what you guys think, what other videos you guys want to see. I have my free Discord down below where I give trade recaps and other information. So if you guys want to join, it's the first link below.